Hello everyone, welcome to the weekly Wednesday lunchtime live stream on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. I am DDO's Community Manager Cordovan, and I'll be with you for the next hour with some news on a different server, playing Saltmarsh as well. Welcome, hope you're having a good time in Dungeons & Dragons Online. Hope you're enjoying Saltmarsh. It's been out a couple weeks now. Hope you've had a chance to run through it. If not, well, you got a lot to look forward to here, and we'll be showing some of it here today. So, welcome everybody. Thanks for being here. We have a little bit of news. Not a lot of news to pass around, but a little bit I can talk about. One of the first things I guess I'd mention is that we have a patch set for next week, about a week from today, probably next Wednesday. We'll kind of see where it ends up falling, but odds are fairly good it'll be a week from today. And it's going to have a bunch of bug fixes in it, and one kind of nice quality of life initiative, assuming everything checks out. I can talk a little bit about it, but keep in mind that this is pretty... we still have a week yet to go, so some of this may end up changing. But we do have a couple of fixes in for like slotted legendary green steel augments, a couple of patching, or bugs rather, that have come up since Saltmarsh. An issue in Reaper mode where the resurrection ward was not applying correctly in certain situations. Some of the crayfish were doing extra damage. And some other kind of vermin, you know, that rat that wiped me, actually turns out it is statted incorrectly, so we're going to be fixing that one, I think. And a couple other bug fixes as well that I don't know that I can get into too much, just because I don't know if 100% it's going to be in there. But I do know, for example, we have a fix-in for some Sands of Menecterin and Vault of Night quests that we're still dropping epic seals instead of their regular new stuff here. So we're going to have that in there. Ascendancy and Knight of the Chalice will properly give its attack and damage with all weapons. We're going to fix an issue with favored weapons and inquisitive. Having your main hand weapon be a favored weapon will no longer inadvertently remove certain crit bonuses from your weapons, like an inquisitive crit bonus, for example. And then we have one thing that, gosh, I guess I could talk a little bit about it, but I'm a little worried that maybe something might come up and it won't end up being in the patch. So I guess with that caveat, we have something in the works here that is a nice little quality of life fix that came together fairly quickly, and we're happy to be able to be releasing. And that is that we're making a couple of tweaks to the public grouping option. And I'm actually going to be kind of using that here on Wayfinder when I enter these Saltmarsh quests. I'm just going to leave public group open. If someone wants to join me, go for it. I'm on Wayfinder, just be epic level. That's all that matters. But what it's going to be doing in the relatively near future, hopefully, is automatically set the level range to correspond with the level of the content that you're doing much more reliably. So in Heroics, the level upper boundary will be the instance level. So the lower boundary is the quest level -1, or instance level -3. So for example, a level 6 quest on Elite will always be 5 to 8, regardless of the levels of the players that are forming the group. So this will have an upper limit of 19 in Heroics, and so it will never allow a level 20 character to join a Heroic quest. But it's much more going to align with what people are actually doing, which is basically running a level 6 quest on Elite is level 8, so you want 5 to 8, right? Something like that. And then in Epics, level lower bounds will now be 20, regardless of the CR, because, you know, anyone in Epic can join a Epic group without any XP issues. The level upper boundary will be the instance level +2, because Epics do have an expanded bravery bonus range. So a level 25 quest on Elite will now always be 20 to 29, for example. And then I believe once you get level 26 and above, it just goes up from there, right? And then if we need to address it as we do level cap increases and such, we can do that. So you know, I need to make a brief change. I hate doing this on the air, but looking at my own XSplit is bothering me a bit. My white balance isn't quite correct. I have to fix these things. Why am I like this? Alright, so anyway, that is in the works. Could, fingers crossed, could be next week on that one. But at the very least, it's something that is in the works and we're hoping to bring to the game in the near future. Let me just real quick, I didn't call up the page ahead of time, but let me just real quick take a moment to do the bonus here before I get going. People do tend to like me saying that, and I'm pretty sure we've got that written down this time. So what will be going on, let's see. Okay, so this weekend's bonus will be double Commendations of Valor and double Mysterious Remnants. Now, keep in mind, double Mysterious Remnants is twice the chance for remnants to appear when defeating a champion. So you don't get twice as much, but you effectively get twice as much because you have twice the chance for it to drop. Meanwhile, double Commendations of Valor, I believe, is just simply double. Additionally, we have a VIP XP boost going into effect. This should be late morning Eastern Time tomorrow, running for a while. I'll have to double check on that date, but something like through Labor Day will be a 15% VIP XP. And yeah, so we got some cool bonuses happening. Oh, also, I happen to see that let me drop this one, because this one is in place already. Next week, this coupon, the free coupon for this Wednesday, or Thursday. Yeah, this Thursday, today's Wednesday, tomorrow. The free coupon that will be announced tomorrow is going to be for a Sentience toolkit. So if you have a toolkit that needs sentienced, perhaps hang on for that freebie there tomorrow, huh? So, alright. Otherwise, yeah, I think that's basically the news. The other bit of news that I guess I could mention is that we, do have a patch set for roughly next week, and then a few weeks after that, so we're looking at something in the range of middle of September. We currently are hoping to have our first preview of Update 51. Now, Update 51, remember, this time around is going to be like Epic Destinies. That's what Update 51 is Epic Destinies. And so I think we're looking toward mid-September for our first, quote, big Epic Destiny preview on Lamania. And now that date could shift a little bit, but something in the range of that middle week of September is when you can expect, hopefully, our first preview to be on Lamania. And we're considering whether we can do something a little bit different this time around, just as a test, and do a little bit of some kind of streamer content creator preview, maybe the night before. I don't know if this is all going to come together in time. We'll see. We'll see. Hopefully it can. I don't really think that there's any particular blockers, so fingers crossed this should also happen. But the idea is to something like the night before, the day before, probably the evening before, given people's, the fact that people work not for Standing Stone Games, but for their jobs, and have to go home and eat dinner first. So something like the evening before the Lamania preview, we want to have a special open window for really selected people. But the intention is to make that selection be fairly broad and be focused on people who want to get a bunch of info on LIs before they go live on the air. Right? So that they can actually talk to it a little bit and have a little bit more knowledge kind of heading into their stream stuff. I know full well how nerve-wracking it can be to go into a quest or new system and really just, be on the spotlight, so to speak. So having some knowledge, feeling a little more comfortable with the system, getting an opportunity to ask a couple of questions to the team seems particularly valuable. And that's something we've been kicking around as an idea for a very long time. But I think it might happen for this preview here. And so that would be something like the day before. My thinking on that as well would be to include the wiki folks. So not just, say, Twitch, YouTube streamers, although this may in some ways be kind of specifically targeted toward them. I could also see it as exceptionally helpful to the wiki folks, who obviously have a lot of work ahead of them to get all this Epic Destiny stuff sort of updated into the wiki and what have you. So having an opportunity right off the bat early on to ask some questions and kind of get a little bit of just downtime on their own time, really, to work on some of this stuff is something that we've been kind of kicking around. Now, I do have someone saying a bad idea, huh? Goldie? Don't like this idea, huh? Well, like I say, this is an experiment to some extent, so we'll see what ends up happening there. If people don't like it, if it doesn't function well, then clearly we probably wouldn't ever do it again. But it sounds like there may be some value in doing that. It's at least I think it's an interesting idea and something I'd like to get done. This would also give some content creators an opportunity to capture video. That, because when you capture video, especially if you're doing a produced video, right, it takes a little bit of time to do that stuff. And there's perhaps a benefit to everybody, the content creator and us, to have that video out relatively soon after this stuff hits Lamania. So to the extent that they might have just an hour or two, a couple hours, right, to just kind of go in there and capture some stuff that they can spend a couple hours with afterwards or whatever, also seems particularly valuable, not just for them, but for us a little bit as well. All right, I think that covers the news. So we're going to be running Saltmarsh stuff here on Wayfinder. Yep, I'm on Wayfinder. I've been on Atlantis for a very long time, but I have a character I've been wanting to play on Wayfinder here. So I'll reintroduce you to this character here in just a minute and talk about a couple things before we get started running Saltmarsh content. So let me go and take a second, though, to go through chat. I've not had an opportunity to do chat Q&A, and I should probably do that here before we get going too much. So let me, just for the sake of not having to stare at the same thing forever, slightly change up the background and see what we got going on. All right. Nice Borderlands t-shirt. I like it. Crayfish are some of the scariest melee mobs. They sure are, aren't they? They're still going to be pretty scary, but perhaps a little bit more in line with what they ought here in the near future. Murder crayfish. Yeah, I think this affects the ravens and the rats as well. But there was some bug where a whole subset of rats, I believe, of which the infected in the quest we might even run here in a little bit. Their statting was off. They were hitting for a ridiculous amount of extra damage, something like 150%. So, yeah. So, yeah, the exciting thing about this quality of life change that we're really hopeful to bring to the game for public grouping is that the public grouping option has long been there, and it's useful for a lot of people, but some of the level range stuff has been a bit on the challenging side, because it'll kind of maybe not always scale 100% right, because it had to take into account a lot of variables that I guess people may organically do. And now it's going to, I think, much more closely align what I think people actually want it to be doing here. So, yeah, I'm going to say, here's the other piece. I'm going to go in because I'm running short, and I want to run through this stuff and not get Ravel stomped. So, unless I got a group here, I'm not going to put myself on the line and just die over and over again. I'm bringing out a little higher line. Some backup healing.
The deputies sent by the city guard.
Now, I'm only level 29, so I can't actually summon my level 30s yet. My gear is... here's the other reason why. My gear is not where it needs to be yet. My gear is still set for level about 24, and the reason for that is that this is my highest level character on Wayfinder, so this is the first run-through, as it were, of getting a whole bunch of loot for at-level loot. So a lot of this is coming together, but what I did do in recent days ahead of the stream here is I got myself a Morning Lord Great Axe. I put a Ruby Eye of Force in it. I don't have a Sentient Gem yet, but that's part of what I'm doing here is running Saltmarsh, and I'm also running Ravenloft off-stream. And I'll probably grab a Sentient Gem here, so I'll be much more kind of in sync of where I need to be on this character in the near future. They're still pretty embryonic here, and I never even got rid of that level of fighter because I don't care. One other change I would say is actually, you know what, maybe I should swap. I'm currently leveling up in Grandmaster of Flowers. That's just what I've been doing, because I kind of want to get some XP. But I did recently swap it back in my Momentum Swing as a twist, because every time, I do a Supreme Cleave, there's a chance it gets recharged. So it's a pretty useful way to do it. And then the other piece I added just recently is I finally slotted in my latest twist, which is at the moment just DC's to tactical feats, and then I've got fast healing because it doesn't hurt. But I had largely been going into Dreadnought, although I'd done Fury as well here on this character. But I wanted to go up in Grandmaster of Flowers, so I just kind of wanted to give you a sense of where I am, and so my damage is going to be pretty low tier and stuff at the moment. But that's okay. That's okay. That's part of what we're doing here. I want to play this character quite a bit and get him up to speed a little bit. So there we go. All right, well, let me continue going through chat before we totally get going. Will trap DCs be adjusted to current item adjustments? What we could earlier do easily now can end in control boxes blowing up. I have not heard of plans to lower trap DCs. If, however, we do need to address them, that's some work that we could do. I would assume there may be a few edge cases that are going to need some tweaking. In general, though, we had been going into this in a position where it was largely negligible in terms of skill point allocation and such, beyond a certain point that rogues were able to achieve. So, for recently at least, trap DCs hadn't even really been much of a consideration because you were well above that. So even with this scale back in itemization number, overall, most trap disabling is in a fine place. However, there may well be a few trap DCs that are going to need to get some attention. So in those cases, we'll take a look. But I have not heard in general of a plan to lower trap DCs across the board. Tough RPG. I have heard that we are going to be looking at Legendary Paralyzing on the Scroll Seal Shard upgradable gear, but I can't really speak more to that other than to acknowledge that I've heard people talking about it, so I'm assuming we're going to take a look at that. Should we be seeing gameplay? Not yet. I just haven't really done any gameplay yet, and I've just got another image up at the moment. But let me fix that so that... There we go. There we are. Okay. Yep, weekend bonus was covered. We have got double commendations and double remnants. Double chance for remnants to appear when defeating a champion. And also a VIP XP boost that's going to be kicking off and running really through the Labor Day weekend, as far as I can tell. Okay. Let me go and look at YouTube here quickly. Do explain the new expansion upgrade purchase options. So on the DDO market for Saltmarsh, there's a buy upgrade button. If you have, you're logged in, right, to your game account when you go into the market there, or you will be logged in when you get to the purchase flow. And the way it'll work is if you don't have that entitlement on your account, if you haven't already made a purchase, it'll be a purchase. And if you do already have a lower edition of the Saltmarsh expansion, it'll give you an opportunity to basically buy up. Price difference is my understanding of how that works. So that's how it works. Right now it's only for Saltmarsh. Perhaps we can bring that functionality to other expansions in the future. It's not as easy as just making a different offer in the store. There's tech on the back end that facilitates it. But that is how it works for Sinister Secret of Saltmarsh in the new DDO market. And the assumption is, the hope is, the presumption is, that this is how we can do it moving forward. Now let me take a look at Facebook quick. Any word on mobile in the future? Sorry, no plans to do DDO on mobile. Do we have dates for the next Night Revels 2021 event? No, I don't think I have them internally yet either, but real quick. But October. It's October. That's when we do this stuff. So it'll be October. So, here we go. Yeah, roughly starting the first week of October and ending the first week of November is the plan for Night Revels this year. So. When will we see anything on the level cap increase? That won't be for a while yet. Nothing to announce there, but it won't be update 51. Alright, what else do I got? Will epic quests ever get reset after epic reincarnation, like heroic true reincarnation resets quests? No, is the intention on that. That was a deliberate design choice when doing that. And I believe, I can't remember what the reason for it is at this point, but there was a reason why it was done that way on epic reincarnation, as opposed to true reincarnation. Do I have a new cam setup? Nope, same cam. I've got a green screen I finally hooked up here. Basically what I did is I've got a little string running across the ceiling.
You tell the deputy to send the expected signal to the
And I've got a
this should make their ship easy to board,
green
as they
screen
would expect the
basically
boat of their comrades to approach them.
clothespinned to it.
Fools won't
Had to
know.
go and put some nails on the
The
wall.
deputy stops rowing to ask you.
I do know streaming it
Port to
wasn't a big deal
starboard,
though.
Captain.
It's my house. I can do what I want. Yep. Growler, I can't really speak to the question you're asking me about some kind of new plugin.
Not seeing the familiar faces
I
of
have
your
heard about
accomplices.
it,
The surprise
but I can't
crew
really say
demands
anything
to
about
know
it
who
or
you
speak
are.
to it from a position
The
of
first mate shouts to the rest of the crew
intelligence.
to repel the
So,
intruders. It's time to be
I would just say I've
on
heard about it. Oh, I see. See, I'm doing like cleave to reset that momentum swing, and it's a pretty useful way to get a bunch of momentum swing attacks in, which is 5 weapon damage, so it doesn't hurt. It's not tiny. Works out pretty well. So this character, like I say, is one I've played on Wayfinder for a while, but never really got developed too much. But I do want to have characters active on every server, and this one is the closest I've got on Wayfinder. And I like this character, actually, quite a bit. I've always enjoyed playing this character quite a bit. So I'm gonna play this character for a little while on the live stream and just kind of see how it goes. Plus, especially since I'm only level 29 here, I'm not actually level 30 yet. I started a couple days ago. I was level 28, and I've since leveled up, right? But running Ravenloft stuff.
The deck wizard splits into several copies of himself. None of them look happy to see him.
But I want to play this character for a little while on Wayfinder, and it'll be a good place to run on Wednesdays for a little bit. And then we'll probably see maybe Argo is another option, Sarlona is another option I've got somewhat developed characters on. So, you know, we'll just kind of see what I end up doing there. But that's the thought, is to offer a little bit more diverse characters and servers here on the stream. Kind of go, if not go back to a formal rotation, at least just sort of develop characters for a while. So you're just not looking at the same person week after week. And show off a little bit of what the different classes can do and what have you, given the person doing the work. So you know, mega expert.
The deck wizard collapses. No longer. More smugglers appear on this deck to repel the intruders.
I'm aware that, so we never put a cap on Reaper points, and, you know, it's always been a question of whether we should have. Clearly, at the time, it was a decision made. It does mean we have people with an awful lot of Reaper points, and I don't know what, if anything, we'll really be able to do there. But I think we're aware that, you know, for certain people, some subset of users get the billion, gajillion Reaper points. And, in excess of what you can actually spend. And so I don't know ultimately what the long-term solution to that's going to be. It's a tricky one, that's for sure. I guess it goes to show why you put caps on these things, huh? Yep.
Long live the new captain. Among multiple love letters from various paramours in different ports, you find a work contract for hardware deliveries, signed by a barely literate envoy.
Oh, Yeah, I don't know. If we had... Let me see. It looks like we may have had a moderator thing. Let me see what's going on there. Trying to figure out what's going on in our Twitch chat. Okay, let me see. If someone accidentally got auto-modded or something, sorry. If someone ended up getting legit modded, then I'll look into it after the show if necessary. Yeah, I don't know how Kenneth Crafting might deal someday with level 30 plus shards. I think, that's something that remains an unanswered question. Okay, Craig was asking about a Saltmarsh Sir Squilliam III Esquire rune arm. There does not appear to be a recipe in the altars to upgrade that rune arm to epic or legendary. Yes, I looked into that prior to the show. What's going on there is none of the rune arms can be upgraded in legendary, and that is working as intended. They are not currently functional with that upgrade altar. That could theoretically happen in the future, but it is intended that the rune arms are not upgradable at the moment. So that's what's up. Yep, no epic legendary counterpart that I'm aware of at the moment.
Hear the rushed footsteps of more crew descending into the holes.
There we go. And the... Work. No! Alright, fine. Blood Rage or whatever it is. Proc pudding. Yes, that rune arm is amazing. Sorry if it doesn't have a current legendary equivalent, but I did check on that and I was told that yes, none of the rune arms can currently be upgraded. And that is as they were not expected to be able to be, for whatever reason.
Of the ship's officers slain, the rest of the smugglers would be wise to surrender. The ship
Yes, they would. I think I only have 3 crests at the moment. Right. Let me see what. Nope, I don't have this. What? I only have 2 crests, huh? Go. go. Alright.
This is a lot of weapons. This isn't about ordinary smuggler tax evasion anymore.
Hey, speaking of Sir Squilliam, there you go.
Someone's preparing for war. And
Fortunately, I'm not a, I am not a
warn the town.
artificer. I can't actually equip it, but it's a little squid that goes in your arm. And it's pretty sweet. And it says assault shot. It's pretty cool. Nice. Find out who the buyers are. What am I missing there? Let me think about this. Yeah, I believe the tooltip description needs to get updated. Could have sworn. Isn't that what the... I thought this note took care of that. What am I missing here? Yeah, see, those are the shipping documents I read. I thought that said... And then the buyers... How do I find the buyers? Punctual's cabin? No. Could it be the basement? But I thought the basement was just optional. Other side. Oh, over this way? To the forecastle. Oh, here we go. Okay. Cool. Groovy. Thank you.
Dragon looks sad at the demise of its master. It's lost interest in the battle.
Alright, there we go. Yay! Alright, cool. Question about basically hiring GMs, based really on a post, I believe, on the announcements forums that took place a little while ago. The answer is we are doing work related to that hiring right now. We have got, I believe, 2 people kind of being onboarded, and I've heard we might have even more kind of coming here in the near future. So, progress is being actually made. Yes, yes, yes. Now, we only have like 15 minutes left, so I think I'm just going to pop in and run Saltmarsh a bit. I don't think I'm getting this, you know, really done in that time. Although, what could I do in 15? I could probably do... I could probably do the 1,000. The big alligator one. Whatever one that is. Thousand teeth, yes, thank you. Swim at your own risk, thank you. I could maybe do this one instead, but I'll do the 1,000 teeth one. That is... Yo, come at me, bro. Oh, you're an ooze. Don't destroy my Morning Lord weapon. ELZ. Yes, Jenny over on Twitch. We have, I understand, a fix in the works for the Epic Gem of Many Facets. I don't know if it's going to make it into next week's patch or not. But we are aware of that one. There we are.
Massive tracks in the mud lead to a dark and stinking den.
Again, people are gonna not like it, but I'm doing this just for
This cave
ease of
stinks
myself, for the
death,
fact I'm going
magic,
solo,
and
for the
wine
fact
in
I'm
that order.
multitasking.
Judging from what you can see, the Sahuagin have set up some kind of ritual to control the giant crocodile, and they're using it to raid passing ships. Some of these wine casks have teeth marks. Big ones. There are definitely some unpleasant things living in that water. Best to avoid a swim. Intruders! Hisses the Sahuagin. They meddle with the pattern. Hold them, my warriors. I will commune with 1,000 teeth.
Oh, yeah, done. Okay, so if this goes right there... There... There we are.
Rips out of the water.
Hello, Gator. I have meet Oliver, my alligator creature companion. He is much smaller than you, and is not currently being attacked with an axe. But if you hadn't tried to bite me, I probably would have just hung out with you too.
Thousand Teeth retreats into the water, unaccustomed to food that fights back. Cursed beast! Stay and fight! Wraths the Sahuagin mage, straining to control the crocodile. Another wave of Sahuagin surged from the water.
This, on higher difficulties, will do some not insignificant damage to me. So, I'll be kind of careful hopping in this stuff on Reaper and what have you. So this one. Ah! Alright. I actually found these to be relatively easy and solvable with trial and error. I think it's kind of nice, but, you know, what is? Go. Oh, there's our last one over here. So the main thing about running this, you know, on higher difficulties is it can be a challenge to both solve the puzzles and handle the combat. So if you don't have someone kind of on your side to keep you alive or what have you, it just takes a lot longer and is a lot harder because you have to just fight everything off before you get to do the puzzles. But on lower difficulties, you can largely have people solve while other people are fighting, or of course, if you're in a group. Right.
The Sahuagin's barrier vanishes. The mage is now within your reach. Thousand Teeth is a deep breath and charges again. The beast is fully committed to the work.
I mean, Thousand Teeth has got to be an exaggeration, right? It's probably more feels like 1,000 teeth. It's actually, you know, 200 and some. Yay! I did it. All right.
Then collapses into the muck, dead.
Someone in chat, 1,000 teeth refers to how many he's digested. That could be. That could be. Get the hire out of the goo. No, that's fine. Just waiting for me to pull a nebula fragment. That would be something, wouldn't it? But no, it's just been appropriate for the difficulty. Alright, what have we got for time here? I don't know that we have time for a whole lot left, although that actually didn't take long at all. Maybe I'll just get started and run around something here. Go back to that campfire one. Yeah, having the crocodile toss you up in the air, that would be cool. I like it. I'm actually kind of half paying attention to some of this plate and stuff, although I have to admit I haven't really found a keeper yet. And most of this will be replaced by named, you know. But for now, I could actually use a little bit of gear, because some of my stuff is like level 24. Because I just, my first time hitting these levels, and I just don't have this stuff. But that's fine. That's what this is all about.
It looks as though many travelers have used this campsite to pass the
I
night
must
over
have
the
already,
years.
though. So someone asked about the sentient, the freebie sentient. I must have already done that. Then where did it go? I don't know what happened to my sentient gem. I can't find it, and I can't pick up a new one. So, but I'll just get another one from running the chains.
You awake from a troubled dream filled with shouts and screams.
It is a troubled dream.
Then you realize it wasn't a dream at all. Panicked calls for help can be heard a short distance to the south. You shake off your slumber and make your way into the fog.
Okay. I must have missed something here. I'm not getting the first encounter. What did I do wrong? Yep, over there. Okay. Yes, the sentient jewel of the lizard folk is indeed one per account, not one per server.
A lone smuggler stands here,
There we go.
dazed and trembling. Several Sahuagin
It. The Slayer in Saltmarsh she felt was too easy, huh?
beckons you over to talk. The smuggler explains that the Sahuagin have built several other shrines nearby. The closest one is just to the southwest, across a small bridge.
Your connection went out right as you made a comment. No, I didn't see that, but let me go and ask, or answer your question. Someone is saying, the Achosaurus is self-reporting as legally blind and new to DDO and really like it. But is having a hard time reading things and wondering if we have thoughts on accessibility improvements. We have wide improvements hoped for related to UI in general. And it would be hopeful that as part of those improvements, we would be able to offer increased accessibility options. But we don't actually have, like, say, an ETA or something for that work at the moment. Especially, like, 4K is a critical one, accessibility is a critical factor. Just general age of the UI in some cases is a factor, and so it's something that we absolutely do want to do. But I couldn't provide any sort of thought about an ETA as to when it might happen. I could think it would be probably part of a wider UI overhaul that we would do in the future.
The fisher folk thank you for saving them. They point to an eerie glow in the distance to the west, near an abandoned cart.
Will we ever be able to
It's another
resize the
Sahuagin
UI?
shrine.
Well, that would certainly be on the list as well, wouldn't it?
The Sahuagin shrine
The having a
also
click and
emanates an
and drag
eerie
functionality
Whatever
for
it's
the
doing,
UI would make a lot of
can't
sense.
be good. The second shrine
Maybe
falls to
someday,
pieces.
huh?
Sahuagin forces rush to the attack.
Lotro has it in many cases, but again, they have their own UI concerns that would need to be addressed as well. So, in some ways, they're a little bit better off, and in some ways, they're in the same position as in DDL. Quarterly mention make top secret? You mean like us make a version of the old TSR game Top Secret? I think that sounds rad. I had Top Secret. I guess it was the second edition.
With the Sahuagin defeated, you scan the horizon. Sure enough, a third shrine can be seen to the northwest.
There is not currently an option to remove yellow DM text from the middle of the screen. You know, there's a lot of UI work that could be done. But generally that text is reserved for things that are considered appropriate, whether it be for plot or puzzle solving or kind of guidance reasons. And so a lot of times that channel is reserved for that. Now it's also DM text, right? So not everything, but you know, that stuff's pretty important. I started a few minutes late here, so I'll just run a few minutes over, and I think we'll be all right here. This isn't that much that long a quest. I like this quest. It's kind of a nice little combat one to tear through, and lizard folk strategically in waves like this are kind of nice. Reminds me of the Red Fens in a good way. So U51 is coming in September, question mark, or maybe October. Most like, I don't think U51 will be in September. I'd say the chances are that are extremely unlikely. However, previews for the U51 Epic Destiny work will almost certainly be in September. And probably something in the range of the middle of the month. I mean, Sahuagin? Well, what did I say?
You hear the call of the Lord. Sahuagin reinforcements perhaps?
Sahuagin.
At the same time, you spot another shrine.
Sahuagin. Sahuagin.
Now, to destroy one more Sahuagin shrine. You don't see any more nearby. Sahuagin spring forth to make a desperate stand.
Do we have the next session with Severlin scheduled? Not really. We've all been busy. Some people are, you know, taking PTO. I was recently taking PTO. You know, I guess it's been about a month now. He has been doing a little bit of PTO and some pretty big kind of company overall SSG work. So we haven't really had a lot of time for a general Q&A. Also, we've been pretty chatty, and we're kind of just getting to the point that we're really ready to show off all these Epic Destinies, so we just haven't really had, I think, a lot of motivation to bring him on. Not that there aren't always questions that can be
You'll
asked.
hear angry
But I think,
shouts.
you know, we also want to make sure everyone has
Powerful
time to get their work
Saharagan,
done and
clearly
what have
the
you.
leader of his incursion,
So,
stands surrounded by
but I would
crates.
expect to see that in the near future. Probably pretty soon, I think. A couple weeks, maybe. I would also expect to see as we go on to Lamania, like I say, especially if we do a content creator preview, but I think any kind of preview in general, we'll be having some people on the live stream and elsewhere to talk about the Epic Destiny work and some of the cool stuff that's happening. So.
Stop the Saharagan.
This thing can be really hard on, like, Reaper as well. A piece of cake, of course, on
Speaking of which,
this difficulty, but
it's time
you know
for
I
you to
dare do
finally
this
get
stuff.
a
It's coming
good
up.
night's sleep.
Driftwood Bracers. This is one of the level 3 items that'll get updated, or upgraded with the use of the stuff. Keeper of the Curse, huh? Remember that one. The Saltmarsh hay is what you use to upgrade those items. Any Night Revels or Smuggler's Cove side work coming with update 51? No and no. However, I would expect to see a little bit of new itemization with Night Revels, probably something in the range of at least a new cosmetic color of the armor set. For Crystal Cove, I think we're actually going to be bringing it back in the near future, even though we don't have new stuff with it. There's still demand for the existing stuff to some extent. So I would expect sometime around Talk Like a Pirate Day to see Crystal Cove come back. And let me just real quick pop over to Facebook, see what we got. All right. You guys wanted me to try the cargo hold? Sorry. After where they do that fix, I don't want to get raffle stomped on stream again. I wanted it to be due to incompetence. No, there we go. Thank you for watching the weekly Wednesday lunchtime live stream. We've got shows all week long. Please do check out all the other folks who stream on DDO stream. I know, like, for example, Fridays on Ice. On Friday nights, we've got a nice chill hangout sort of place. And on Sundays, we do some tabletop. On Tuesdays, we've got some Polish language streaming. And we've got people all week long. So just please do check out the schedule and give us a follow, as it were, over on Twitch. I'll be back next Wednesday with more. Until then, hope you have a great time. Talk to you soon.